welcome back to Alfred's Basic Adult Piano Course, Lesson Book Level 1. Today's video, Lesson 35, covering page 40 in our book, introducing E for the right hand. So a couple lessons ago, we learned about E in our left hand, remembering that we're still in the G position. So in the right hand, just as a review, your thumb is on G, and your second finger's on A, third finger's on B, fourth finger on C, fifth finger on D. At least that's what we have been doing. The right hand's a little different than the left hand when we're introducing E. Look at the keyboard diagram at the top of page 40. So our thumb is on G, but notice A, and it's blank. Well, for now, you're not even going to play this A. So just forget it. Take your second finger and move it over to B. Third finger now has shifted to C. Fourth finger on D. And the fifth finger on E. Very interesting. In our left hand, remember the thumb was going back and forth between D and E. You won't be doing that in the right hand. The fourth finger's on D, and the fifth finger's on E. So it's a little bit different G position. It's not this standard. You got to skip the A and put your second finger on B. 3 on C, 4 on D, and 5 on E. So there it is. There's our new position. Look at the treble clef staff above the keyboard diagram. So this E is located on the top space. So whenever you see a note on the top space, it'll always be this E right here on the piano. Like we said, for now, it's only going to be played with the fifth finger. All right, so when we go down to where it says play slowly, say the note names as you play, this gets even trickier. Notice I said your new position is shifted here. Well, it depends what we're playing. The very first measure is a broken G chord. But notice that after the thumb on G, it's not second finger on B. It's back to our old position of third finger on B. So your first measure, the broken chord, you're starting out right here. Thumb on G, 3 on B, 5 on D. When you go to the second measure, you have to shift. So notice thumb on G. Then it says move 3 to C and 5 to E. So remember that position we just did up at the top of the page? Shift over to that position. So basically what you could do is say, hey, move the second finger to B, everyone else move up 1 as well. And that'll take you there. That'll put 3 on C. That'll put 5 on E. And there you are. So G, third finger C, fifth finger E. Now the third measure, we're back to thumb on G. We got to move back to our old position. So basically that means take your second finger to A. That puts the third finger on B and the fifth finger on D. And in our fourth measure, after the G, we shift up again. Third finger on C, fifth finger on E. So let's go through that entire line. 3 counts, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so work on that until you get comfortable with that shift. It's probably going to take you a little bit more time than it took the left hand a couple lessons ago. When you finish that, new C major chord position in the right hand. It says, notice that 2 fingers must move to the right when changing from the G major chord to the C major chord. Well, yes, actually 4 fingers are moving to the right if you want to be technical. Here's our G major chord. So I said 4 fingers because when I play the C chord, you're really moving, remember the position earlier? Second finger to B, third finger to C, fourth finger to D, fifth finger to E. So you're really moving 4 fingers. They just meant that your C and E are the ones that are actually playing your third finger and fifth finger. So what you want to do is, after you play your G chord, you want to move all four fingers over. And of course, focus on the C and the E. When you go back to the G chord, you move all four fingers back. Now notice what I'm doing with my thumb as I do this. This might be a good exercise. Just hold that thumb on that G and focus on shifting these fingers. The good news is the third and fifth finger are playing in both cases. So your second and fourth finger are just there to dance along. They're not engaged. So 2 and 4 don't even play. Now, there are no broken chords coming up in the next couple lessons that I'm aware of for the right hand. But if you remember last lesson, we talked about if you're going from a G block chord to a C broken chord, don't wait till the last minute to move your hand. Now, experienced players can. But pretend you're going to play that C block chord and then play it broken. So really work on this outline. So by playing the block chords right now in this lesson, you are working on the outline. So that's what you're going to do at the bottom of the page, is just go back and forth. Of course, eventually you're going to lift your thumb now on each time you play on the G. But like I said, it's okay if you want to hold it and focus on those fingers moving. But eventually make sure that thumb's not lazy and do pick it up for each chord. And that's all this lesson is. So it's very important. It's not easy, so it may take a little bit of time. But make sure you're comfortable with this before heading to lesson 36.